The year, 2008. The date, my 12th birthday. I excitedly ripped the wrapping paper off the box in front of me. Oh my god. I proceeded to spend the countless hours after school and at the weekends as Niko Bellic, speeding through the streets of Liberty City, mowing down Russian gangsters and warehouses, and supporting the local gig economy. But despite being one, if not the most, memorable game of my childhood, I haven't played GTA 4 for at least 15 years, so when I saw it on sale on Steam, I knew it was time to go back. Time to see it again with more weary and jaded eyes to see if in retrospect, it deserves to be ingrained in my mind as one of my standout childhood memories.
Hajde da uradimo ovo.
What are you doing?
Dave is not coming.
Ignore him. Come on, we gotta get this thing ready before we dock. Let's go. Here, pass me that. Oh yeah! There she is. Liberty City.
So first things first, the game's graphics hit me like a blister compact smashing into a brick wall. I still can't believe just how good this game looks considering it's now 17 years old. Back in 2008, a HD TV set you back more than how much my parents loved me. So I was playing on a hand-me-down old standard definition box TV, and while at the time the PS3 broke new ground with its processing power, it could only play GTA 4 at 30 FPS. So to see it running today at 1080p at 60 FPS on max graphics had me feeling like one of those judgmental swans in The Ugly Duckling after the titular duckling's glow up. Considering this game released the same year as the likes of Fallout 3, it's amazing just how well it holds up. Alright, the faces do look like they're made from Play-Doh, and some of the textures are a bit rough, but its earthy drab colour palette and its gloomy lighting gives it an almost cosy feel, and its unique art style has kept the years from being too harsh on its aging complexion. And the game sets the tone straight out of the dockyard gates as you drive Roman's haggard taxi through the dimly lit and grimy industrial streets of Hove Beach. And while we're on the topic of tone, let's address one of the game's biggest criticisms it's faced. It's bloody depressing.
After you walk into a village and you see 50 children all sitting neatly in a row against the church wall, each with their throats cut and their hands chopped off, you realize that the creature that could do this doesn't have a soul.
That's what she said.
While it's not uncommon for games today to be overly melodramatic with a focus on topics like grief and loss, looking at you, The Last of Us 2.
If it was me, I'd want you to do the surgery.
The GTA series up to that point had taken itself far less seriously, so it came as a surprise to many back in 2008 when GTA 4 was unwavering in just how seriously it took itself. The contrast in tone from previous games made even more pronounced due to GTA's main rival, Saints Row, releasing its second iteration in the same year, a franchise renowned for its over-the-top ridiculousness, whereas GTA 4 revolves around Niko Bellic, a Serbian immigrant who has come to America looking for a better life after recently fighting in the Yugoslavian wars. But it's later revealed he's actually there to hunt down a man he believes betrayed his unit during the war.
You're here on some revenge mission for something that happened 10 years ago?
Sounds a bit like Trump trying to do a Borat impression.
For something that happened 10 years ago?
Call up Sean Hannity.
Anyway, getting off topic.
And you don't care whose life you ruin anyway?
No!
Niko then continues to ruin everyone's lives by going down an ever-violent spiral in his pursuit for revenge, and ultimately is left with nothing. A man lost in a foreign land with a future as bleak as his past, as all he knows is violence. In Saints Row 2, you can pimp slap homeless people with a foam finger. So yeah, maybe the criticism of the tone and story isn't completely unwarranted, and in retrospect I think it would have benefited from taking itself slightly less seriously. But what the tone does make for is one of the most engrossing and immersive GTAs to date. When I was a kid, I'd only take cabs as a pseudo speedrunning technique, so I'd be spamming X to skip to the destination. But this time around, I'd purposefully sit in the back of cabs just so I could look out at the gloomy, trash-filled streets of Liberty City and watch its citizens go about their business by the sounds of car horns and arguing is only just drowned out by the cab driver ranting about his wife.
You remind me of my wife, man. Take advantage of my generosity and insult me at the same time.
You got a wife?
Crazy to me that despite the limitation of the hardware at the time, GTA 4 is still outclassing the majority of newer titles in terms of immersion and creating a living world.
Oh my god! Wow!
Where did it all go wrong? The GTA series has always been centered around the rags to riches story cliche, but I think GTA 4 nails this story arc perfectly. Nico starts out at the bottom of the Liberty City crime hierarchy. He shakes down store owners for protection money and carjacks for booty. And after a long day of petty crime, he goes home to his sleazy cousin's apartment to sleep on a pull-out bed that, judging by the stains, has also seen its fair share of pull-outs.
It's free real estate.
Nico slowly climbs the rungs of the criminal career ladder until he's eventually rubbing shoulders with the kingpins at the very top. Alright, so I'm done standing over the story and world building of the game, so let's take a look at the gameplay. Back in 2008, Rockstar's approach to mission design was still relatively fresh, but after playing Red Dead Redemption, GTA 5, and Red Dead Redemption 2, the formulaic design of drive to location, kill enemies, and then escape police looks really tired in retrospect, which I suppose is less of a criticism of GTA 4 itself and more of Rockstar's stagnating mission design in later games. While the graphics might be holding up pretty well, there is some game design in here that is definitely showing its age, like the 200 pigeon collectibles.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I've still yet to meet anyone who likes collectibles in games, which is probably why you don't see it much anymore, but its very presence in the game suggests that at one point in time, a team at Rockstar all sat around a table and agreed a tedious Where's Waldo pigeon hunt was just what this game needed. The cover system has aged about as well as sick in a hot car. Well, that's a bit harsh, it's not awful, but when a game does extremely well in certain areas, the things it does extremely averagely tend to stick out. It just feels really clunky, and sometimes Nico takes some persuading to get him to unstick himself from cover. But in general, the guns in the game feel pretty good. Rockstar definitely refined the combat in later games, but considering its age, I think it holds up pretty well. The driving in this game has this really realistic, grounded feeling to it. Big SUVs roll from side to side and understeer around corners. And in general, cars have this very weighty feel to them. It's not bad, but I just don't find it very satisfying either. I don't know, it lacks a certain oomph, especially when driving and shooting. Usually, if my destination was really out the way, I'd more often than not just get a taxi. But to be honest, I think that's about it. It really is a testament to how much of a landmark GTA 4 was for gaming that even 17 years later, it still holds up. To me, it marked a real elevation of the medium, an elevation that even today I don't think the industry has really moved on from. Sure, games have gotten flashier graphics, and games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2 have definitely pushed boundaries, but I really can't think of a game that has come along and rewritten the standards for the medium as a whole as much as GTA 4 did back in 2008. So yeah, in summary, it's pretty good.